Deck the halls with blood.
With blood.
Welcome to I Hope You Suffer
Blood
Christmas
fur.
edition.
Blood fur.
Yeah.
I
don't know
hope
that.
you blood fur.
I heard it as like fern, like the plant, and I was like, I don't know where this is going.
Well, it could be a two.
It kinda works.
Because it could be blood fir, like fir, the kind of pine tree, FIR.
Yeah. Got
No.
it.
There you go.
Kitty smart.
Yeah.
This is episode 233 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is this movie's better title is Demonic Christmas Tree.
I'm boring British person number 4.
I am string of murderous tinsel.
I got a lot of problems with this lady getting tied up at the end with a single strand of tinsel and not being able to break out of it.
Yeah, I have many problems.
I do like that we were relatively united on this movie too, as well, with just all
It's
2 1 stars and a
fine.
half star. This movie got 1 star out of me for the fucking insanely stupid decision of ripping off Bane's speech from The Dark Knight Rises in 2022.
Yes. I wasn't expecting a murderous Christmas tree running through the woods to deliver a Bane speech, and so therefore 1 star.
It's not even like good the way they did it, but it did make me laugh the minute it happened.
So
So we're talking about the Christmas or the Killing Tree, aka Demonic Christmas Tree or Killer Christmas Tree, which are much better names.
Kill mystery.
there you go. I think the Killing Tree was the lamest of the bunch. Although demonic tree or whatever
Demonic
doesn't really
Christmas
make
tree.
sense. Yeah, I don't like that.
I mean, so I swear that like you talked about this movie when it first got announced because like it was being talked about
I did.
as like a kaiju Christmas tree attacking people, and I was like, fuck yes, that's a good idea. And then the minute this started, where it's just like a serial killer that's like put into this Christmas tree from a seance, I was like, god damn it, I'm out already.
So, and I also have an issue wherein that the first like half an hour, the first like 20 minutes of this movie I was in because it was so ridiculous.
It's disappointing.
Because like, okay, the monster in this movie is literally just a person wearing a fake Christmas tree suit, and it, to me, was hilarious looking. I love a weird sentient thing. Like, there's that one point where the Christmas tree, which is, again, a fake, like, you can see the guy's feet sticking out from underneath the tree, and he's, like, walking up the stairs just, like, holding a butcher's knife, and I thought it was so funny. So there's, like, moments like that were very funny, but then they did this thing where, for some reason, they decided that, like, maybe they were going to try and make this, like, a serious movie, and so there's also, like, a CG version of the tree, which I absolutely hated. And I also don't understand how the tree has, like, branch tentacles when it's, like, very obviously a fake tree. And I didn't like the CG part.
I think the problem is like they didn't lean into it being goofy. They just made it like serious.
No.
And like
yes.
Like if you're gonna do this type of thing, I think you have to go like the full like Child's Play route of like because the fucking dude is just mumbling shit constantly, and it's just like
that,
not
honestly.
good. You like even the subtitles couldn't understand the dude. It constantly kept saying like inaudible, and I was like, all right, great. But it's like at least have him like saying some sort of like tree
There were
quips
no
or like
Christmas tree
something,
puns.
and like It was just so
whatsoever.
like
Not a single
relentlessly
time.
serious for a movie about a dude trapped inside a Christmas tree.
It was like literally actually a movie about a girl who is trying to overcome trauma. Like that's the movie. And then they were like, let's just have a guy wearing a Christmas tree outfit. And I don't appreciate that. I wanted it. Yeah, I agree. And I also watched, I obviously, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more later, but you had said that Kit almost picked Nutcracker Massacre.
I saw you
So
watched it, and I was like,
I also
wait,
watched
did
it.
I pick that? And we're doing that this week? And I was second guessing my whole life.
Kid has to cram in
To
like
be
4
fair-
Christmas movies to be safe.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck me.
Like seriously, yeah. To be fair, it did come up immediately as like a thing that it recommended to me, so I did watch it, and I actually think that movie is better than this movie, and I'll talk about it a little bit more later. But that's my overall problem with it, also, where the movie, it's like they tried to make a serious movie about people, and it doesn't focus on the ridiculous thing that's killing people enough. And so I think that's the footfall here for this one, because
like this movie was what, like 70 minutes long, some shit, like
yeah,
73
not
minutes.
long at all.
And I would say the
Yeah.
first 25 to 35 minutes is just the blandest group of British people on Earth talking
Yeah.
to each other. And
Same
like,
problem in Nutcracker Massacre also.
I-
There's actually one of the girls is like an actress in Nutcracker Massacre, and I for a minute thought that it was the same director because it kind of follows the same pattern.
so
where it's just like people
one,
who hate each other talking for,
one of the things, like, I originally, my pick for a Christmas movie was going to be, I realized there's a new version. I don't think it's like a remake, but just a new movie called Jack Frost about, I'm guessing, some sort of killer ice snow creature that came out this year. And then I realized that the same writer of this wrote that, and I was like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
Pass. Done.
He wrote that and fucking Amityville Scarecrow 2, so they're making a sequel to that, apparently. Great.
It was either this person or whoever did Nutcracker Massacre also did an Amityville movie, and I was like, there we go. There it is.
Yeah, the main actress is in Witches of Amityville, which
Yeah, that's the movie.
I did not make it to before I quit.
No, thank God. Yeah, I don't think so.
But I did watch The
but,
Curse
like,
of Humpty
whatever.
Dumpty, which she's in, and that movie is fucking terrible too.
Yeah.
Like, all of like, if you look through the filmography of all of these people, it's all that like shitty, overly sort of processed looking to be poster art.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like it's just shit that I don't want to watch now, because I watched.
Except
One of
for
them-
Weredear.
No, that poster looks fucking sick, and that movie
it
like seems to have, like, I don't know, better reviews at least than this did.
1 star.
I mean, only 23 people have rated it, but at least all the shit popping up in the reviews for, like the little preview ones are like 2.5, 3 star type things. So, as opposed to Killing Trees, like, 247, and it's all like 2 and under.
Yeah.
I would have given it 1 star, except at the very end, the girl's parents come back as Christmas trees. And that was so fucking stupid, I wanted to turn the movie off right there.
It only got the 1 star out of me because the minute they went into the Bane speech, I blurted out laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just gives me even less hope than I had that Winnie the Pooh horror movie is going to be at all watchable.
Oh yeah,
because it's the same director, and I knew it was going to be terrible.
Oh, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're also doing Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
Oh no!
But they also have a movie called Firenado. So, you know, win some, you lose some.
Right.
That's also the producer of Mother Krampus, so we should have known.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, oh, my very first I Hope You Sever episode was somehow Christmas, and this movie I at least feel like was better than that one.
Yeah, because of the Bane speech. You didn't adopt.
I don't remember anything about Mother Krampus.
I very specifically remember
the poster.
The only good thing I think any of us said about it was like, there's one scene where someone's walking around with like Christmas tree lights wrapped around a baseball bat or like some sort of stick that's like it's like the lighting for the scene, and I remember being like, that's cool, and then everything else was bad because it's literally just like, from what I remember, like this Krampus lady fucking stalking people that are like trapped inside their house or some shit.
I feel like we also never even saw Mother Krampus or something. I can't remember. Don't go back and listen to it because I was like heavy breathing throughout the entire episode because of where my mic was. So don't even bother.
I say don't bother listening to anything in the first 50 episodes because they all sound like shit.
Okay.
Wow, the poster for Nutcracker Massacre is at least incredible.
I will talk. I'll
promising,
talk about
right?
it a little bit. I'll talk about it a little bit after, even though obviously you already saw my rating. It's also not great, but we'll talk about it.
I gotta say, the poster for Kit's Boot Pick though, way better than anything else.
Oh my god!
Super blurry on Letterboxd is always a good sign.
I can just tell that it's gonna be the worst.
I mean, it is produced by Ron Bonk. Producer of Sharks of the Corn and Razor Teeth.
I'm telling you, he had to have been better 20 years ago.
And Evil Dead Inbred Rednecks, which is a movie I wanted to do on this podcast that disappeared from streaming.
No!
Hey, it's only 46 minutes long, so...
Awful streaming future.
I will say at least this movie, even though it didn't deliver what it promised at all, at least it was barely over an hour, which was easy peasy.
Yeah, I think the good thing about the 3 movies we've picked for the month is Kit's the longest, and it's 80 minutes.
I love it.
We crushed it.
Mine's only 70 minutes, and Katie's was 73.
Good job, team.
Mine wasn't 3 hours long for the first
time ever.
We're going
to become the 70-minute time frame podcast.
I think that's long enough. I think that's long enough suffering, if you ask me.
That's a long enough to tell a story about a fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah.
All right, let's
so before we start, I have a very much long and awaited soda talk.
Oh God, is it the
which
fucking
is
fruitcake?
That I have Mountain Dew Fruit Quake, with a blast of artificial fruitcake flavor. I'm scared because I don't even like fruitcake. Also, it is a really shady color.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Quakes?
Probably like them now that you're not in California anymore.
Yeah. I'm not. This kind of looks like if you had water in a bottle and then somebody was like putting their cigarettes in it to, or like if somebody was like chewing tobacco and then spit it up into a bottle.
You want to drink that?
Looks like. I'm gonna.
I almost bought one last night and I was like, I can't do it.
The smell is not my favorite off the bat. It smells like I can't even surmise what it smells like. It kind of smells like a potpourri bag, but Christmassy. Okay, it's actually not bad.
I doubt it.
The actual taste of it kind of tastes just like punch, but with like spices in it. The aftertaste I don't love. It kind of tastes like if you ate like a spiced cake and then like threw it up. So
no, thank you.
Wonderful.
I read one review where somebody was like, look, all the other Mountain Dews are pretty bad. This is the worst. And I was like, yeah, no, thank you. I've tried all
Yeah,
the
I
other
would
ones and
say
they're
so.
bad, and I don't want this to somehow.
I'm trying to think of what the last one I was that I what had that I tried that I really hated.
Probably, wow, that you
Um,
hated. I think the last one was that Halloween one, wasn't it?
yeah, I think for the most part I've liked all of them. This is by far the weirdest flavor
Oh.
to get and make. Like I don't know what possessed somebody to think that fruitcake needed to be a drink. Um,
It seems like Mountain Dew is releasing a new one every month, and I don't think they're like thinking
mhm.
it through. I think they're just pushing some shit out, and it's like none of it's good.
Yeah.
Like the Dr. Pepper ones are good, the Pepsi ones are pretty good, except for the mango. Like
I
Mountain,
liked the Pepsi mango.
it had like a very strange aftertaste I did not enjoy, but the Mountain Dew ones are all pretty bad. I could not drink like an
Yeah,
entire 20 ounce of even the ones I like thought were okay.
that's how I was. Like the spicy one or whatever, I liked it for a few. It was good, like if you were using it as a mixture, but not. This somehow also kind of tastes like eggnog.
What?
So I'm gonna give this like a 2 out of 10, and I'm gonna stop drinking it. And I would say it's not my favorite.
I,
It's not my
based
favorite.
based on the initial response, I would not have guessed 2 out of 10. I was thinking like five or six.
Well, the
The
first,
eggnog, the
I don't.
eggnog really tanked it for you.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't really like eggnog.
I've
So
never
also,
had
I feel like
eggnog,
fruit.
and it just sounds like just the name alone. I was like, no, I'm good. I don't ever need
I
to
know
try
what an
this.
egg is. I don't know what a nog is, but I'm out.
Okay. Oof. So I need to take a regular drink to wash away that.
No, you have to recap the entire movie with just that taste in your mouth.
Every
I
Christmas
would
episode,
quit.
you're gonna have to drink a Christmas soda first.
Oh, that's a good
I
idea.
Well, if there's different Christmas sodas, I would. Well, I do have a frosted cranberry Sprite. I
I mean,
don't know of anything other than fruit quake.
there's cinnamon Coke. I feel like that counts as Christmas.
I can
think
get you
I
the
like
Jones Soda
cinnamon
Christmas
Are
pack.
they? What is it?
I was just trying to figure out what like the flavors were because they're terrible. Let's see.
I still want to
There's
try the
a
pickle
sugar
one.
plum soda, an eggnog soda, a Christmas tree soda, and a Christmas ham flavored soda.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, Jones Soda does
I
like
think
they do like a Thanksgiving one too. That's like one's like stuffing flavored, one's turkey flavored. I think one's Brussels sprout.
no. Ew. I won't. After I did those Thanksgiving candy corns, no, thank you. I think I like sugar plum. I think sugar plum would be okay, and I think actually the tree one would be okay because I like stuff like that. But ham and eggnog soda to me sounds like a bad time.
Um, yeah, there's a
Ham nog.
ham dog. Oh god, there's a holiday themed 12 pack. What are these? Um, oh no, these are all like seem like normal flavors. They just have like holiday names like Nightmare Before Cream Soda, Filthy
yeah,
Animal, Sour
not
Mango
interested.
Melon.
Yummy. Not interested.
I remember
Has to be
trying
weird.
the Thanksgiving dinner one, and it's brutal.
No, no. I'll look around if I can find something different. I think that there might be new Canada Dry flavors this year, but I don't. Nothing else is going to be supposedly gross though, so we'll just see. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of gross
Um,
ones. I just don't know if they're specifically holiday themed. I can send you a bottle of the
yeah.
ranch dressing soda.
I would try it.
With hesitation.
Yeah, turkey and
I
gravy
don't.
soda from Jones Soda if you want it.
Ew.
I can't imagine what that would taste like. It just feels like you would have to drink that warm.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh
I think that would
shit!
be worse even.
They made sodas that taste like ices. Oh man, that sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Um, 40 minutes later, we're ready to go.
Let's
So
just
this
skip the first 40
movie,
minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So there's a Christmas tree.
I know it's like all of it.
Yeah, fake
Okay,
Ozzy
so
Osbourne shows up.
yeah, what is up with that? I didn't. It's Come
Somehow
on.
less coherent
So
listening to than Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes.
I know. So this opens with a McMansion type thing, and well, I thought it was a McMansion, but then I realized that I think that we are in England, so normal countryside manor, if you will. And it's storming. There's a woman who we find out her name is Morgan. The other guy, killer, I call him Tree. His name is actually Clayton, which I found kind of funny. He calls her Morrigan for some reason. Her name's Morgan. And she is basically like sitting in front of like an altar to somebody, talking all spooky about how they'll pay and whatnot. We see some newspaper clippings about a murder at Christmas time called the 12 Christmas Murderer. And she's basically talking about how the victims disrespected the true meaning of Christmas traditions, as you do. And we find out that the murderer for the crimes was executed. And then I was like, oh, she's talking to an urn. She's holding a urn with someone's ashes and talking to them about all of this stuff. And there's a bunch of pictures on the mantle with people's faces scribbled on and whatnot, but there's one that is not scribbled on. And she is going to pay because tonight he's coming back.
Great.
They play a version of "Oh Christmas Tree" as Morgan gets a fake tree. It's literally, this is why I'm confused about is that Hooch?
No, that was me.
Oh.
I've been hanging out with
okay.
him too much. Snorting.
Why I'm confused about why this tree monster has like branch tentacles, because
I thought you said
definitely a
ranch
fake
tentacles. It's like, what?
Ranch
His tentacles
flavored
were made of
tentacles.
ranch?
Yeah, make that a movie. I'll watch it.
Yeah, man, I'd watch Ranch Tentacles.
Yeah.
The Ranchman.
The ranch mystery.
Ugh.
So, yeah, so she's getting out a box that has a fake Christmas tree in it, and she's doing a ritual, which is that she puts the Christmas tree in the middle of a pentagram made from salt, and she starts saying a little ritual thing. And in her spell book, we see her look at it. There's literally a spell in the spell book to resurrect somebody as a Christmas tree. Who'd have thought?
Good thing to have on hand.
She's yeah, you never know. You just never know. So she does the spell, and like she's thinking that it doesn't really work because nothing's happening, and she's kind of like bugging out about it. But then we hear branches rustle, and we get they don't do this. This is the only time in the movie that they do it, but I really enjoyed it, which is Christmas tree vision. And it's just like a green filter with somebody. They like put the camera inside the tree, so there's like branches around the periphery, and I liked it a lot. So up until this point, I'm like into it still. I'm like, okay, great. Because then the tree, the plastic fake Christmas tree, stands up. It has like decorations on it and stuff. And the tree is basically just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's going on with my body? And Morgan is just like, I don't know. I guess the spell got messed up or something. And he, who is a tree, walks up and looks at himself in the mirror and sees that he's a Christmas tree, and he's just yelling, what the fuck? Again, at this point, I'm laughing.
I don't understand what, like, her plan was that, like, she put the Christmas tree there. Like, was it the Christmas tree supposed to turn into a person? Like, I don't understand what this plan was.
Yeah. So she literally says, like, I'm sorry. I thought that she basically says that she thought the tree was just like a symbolic thing that she was going to like sacrifice the tree and then he was going to come back as a person. Yes. And then she was like, I'm sorry.
Amazing. What a plan.
I didn't know you were literally going to become a tree, which again, I thought was very funny. And so he gets mad. He's really pissed off about this. And he accidentally slices her throat open with a tree branch, which I don't know whom amongst you has put up a artificial tree, but those suckers will scratch the shit out of you.
Yeah, so they're very sharp.
They are very sharp. And he just, I feel like if you're not used to your new branch arm, you could very easily decapitate somebody.
Just saying.
Be
That's
careful.
what happened.
Maybe
you get a new Christmas tree body this year.
Maybe we should abolish Christmas altogether. It's too dangerous.
People are dying.
So she's laying there bleeding to death, and he is like, oh my God, what have I done? I'm sorry, it was an accident. And he's like crying and stuff. He tries to comfort her by like stroking her cheek. But again, he's a Christmas tree, so he just was like poking her face, and she's like, ow, stop, it hurt. And up to this point, I'm into this. I think it's very funny. Then the movie takes a very rapid turn for me, which is that Killer Tree Clayton decides that it's fine that he's a Christmas tree because he can still kill people, so it's fine. And so he sees the picture of our main character, whose name is Faith, and he's like, I'm gonna get you for this. His accent is...
It's terrible.
Yeah, and my other problem with him is that it's almost as if they were like, okay, we're going to put you in the sound booth for 10 minutes, and I want you to not stop talking for the entire 10 minutes. Like, anytime he's on screen, he's constantly, like...
mumbling.
Talking, saying something, I'm going to get you, you get back here, I'm going to get you now, come back, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to get you, I've got you. And I'm like, bro, shut up. It just was awful.
Yeah, but like, they do like the fucking death toilet thing where like he just repeats the same fucking line of dialogue like 3 times in a row.
I was going to say, I really like whenever he'll say something and then he just immediately repeated it. Exactly the same. Because I'd look down at my phone or laptop or whatever and hear him say it, and then he said it again. I was like, did the movie just like go back? Is Tubi stuttering?
No.
Like, oh no, they're just they're trying to pad out the runtime, I guess, with repeated dialogue.
Yeah. So he is excited about his new Christmas tree body, and he jumps out of a window onto the roof. And this is like when we see like the weird CG part of it, where he's got like branch arms and legs, but they're very tall. They're like long and stretchy, and it just is a real bad look. I really hated it.
I just like, my big issue is like, if you're going to go that far to just do like these, long ass limbs that could come out, like whatever, like do something more fun with it. Like, it's just like any of the kills are so boring where it's either he just rips someone in half or he just stabs them with like a tree limb, and it's just that shit over and over and over again.
Could have had him launching ornaments at people.
Right, like anything.
There's so many possibilities, and he does like 2 things that are not just stabbing somebody with his branch arms or ripping them up. It's stupid. So now we really get to the turning of the movie, which is that we're introduced to our main character, whose name is Faith, and she's sad because her parents are dead.
Oh my God, how have we only just gotten through the opening?
Yeah, literally. And so this movie does this other thing where the first like half an hour is like flashbacks, which were not necessary to show us multiple flashbacks. So basically there's a flashback and it says Last Christmas. And this is where we see Morgan, and Tree Guy Clayton sneak into a house and kill people for being rich, essentially. And this is where I wrote, why does he look like Ozzy? Because he looks like Ozzy Osbourne.
I mean, at
honestly.
least he had like good motives of just killing rich people.
Basically, basically, like, the whole point of this movie is that he is killing people because of consumerism, essentially, and he's mad at rich people. Fair. Because they are rich and they're also not giving back to the community at all, which I'm not really sure how he knows that for sure, but that's like the plot of the movie.
I think you could just assume that if someone's rich, they're probably not giving back to the community. That's how they stay rich.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our first flashback. Faith's friend Cindy, I think her name is telling her that basically the clock's a ticking. If she wants to make some money, she should just be a sex worker right now. And she's like, okay, I'll think about it. And we're she's still at the house, like at her parents' house, where her parents were killed the year before. But she's gonna sell it, and basically she's just like sad, of course. She's also having a Christmas party downstairs. Outside in the wilderness, Christmas tree Clayton is trying to read a map, and he's lost. So
Christmas trees can read maps.
Yeah. How does he see?
That's,
bulbs, I guess?
That's the question I need to know.
Eye bulbs?
The ornaments.
Yeah.
Ornaments are eyes.
Then we get text on the screen that says "Last Christmas Again." This is where Clayton is calling her Morrigan, and he's mad. He's mad because people aren't understanding their message. Again, which is that consumerism is bad, and he is mad that like people aren't understanding that the point of him killing people is that people don't respect the traditions of Christmas. So I think there's like a little bit of a disconnect here, because I don't know that somebody getting murdered around Christmas time would make me immediately be like, oh my God, I'm taking Christmas for granted. So I think maybe he needs to workshop that a little bit. Also, he has this flashback because he's standing there and he can't read a map and he's lost. And he's like, Morrigan was so good at reading maps, and if she was there, he would not be getting lost. And then some random guy starts asking the tree for money. And this is when we see this is the first time he like stabs a guy with his little arm thingies.
It looks terrible.
And like to be fair, we don't really see much of it. Like a lot of this is out of frame with like CG fuzzy, like blurry blood splashing the screen. So again, not great. Faith then talks to some people that were friends with her parents or something, and Cindy calls them boring. Then there's like these two other girls. I don't even understand, again, except for trying to make this movie longer, I don't really understand the whole point of this, but there's two girls who are like arguing about something, which we honestly don't know what they're arguing about, and we never find out. So who knows? The only important thing is that
wish like these directors would just make your movie like 55 minutes if you have to, but make it good instead of just like trying to pad it out with fucking extra bullshit that sucks.
Yeah, or like plan better kills or something. I don't know. Like this, like you're gonna have these two characters arguing for 10 minutes about something that you don't even tell us like what the thing is. She's just like, well, my friends told me some whatever, and she's like, oh, I didn't do anything. What did you? I don't know. And then they're just like arguing, and we never find out like what the thing was supposed to be. So it's just like fucking stupid. And the only thing that's important is that like the one girl, the girlfriend, I called her girlfriend dickhead because somebody calls her a dickhead, is a dickhead, and none of like Faith is friends with like the girl that's dating dickhead. I don't know her name. Let's call her Lisa. And everybody hates dickhead. That's like the point of it for whatever reason. So Faith rejoins the Christmas party, and Cindy pours her like a huge glass of alcohol. It's like one of those glasses that holds an entire bottle of wine. which is amazing.
I was gonna say, do you have one of those?
Then I somehow don't actually, funnily enough. Then there's another flashback of Faith coming home to find her parents dead, and this is where she sees Christmas Tree Clayton, but like as a person, and Morgan, and they like chase after her or whatever. Then there's a couple that are talking about the murders. This girl in this redheaded girl, she's the one that's like also in Nutcracker Massacre, and she plays like the same bitch character. And basically they're talking about the murders, and the girl's like, yeah, like seriously. And the girl is like jealous of Faith because her boyfriend is like, oh wow, she's so brave to like be going through this, and she's like, whatever, no, she's not. She's messed up now, haha. Let's get out of here. There's a pool outside. So Christmas Tree Clayton is like lost, and he sees a car coming, so he just stops in the middle of the road and pretends to be, just a Christmas tree. And the people who were friends with Faith's parents drive up to the tree and are like, what's going on? This is weird. And they get out, and like essentially the tree like stabs the guy to death with his arms again. Then he strangles the lady in the car with a single string of lights, which in theory I like this, because it's one of the only things that they did without CG, so I appreciate it. But also, like Kit said in the beginning, you can just you could get out of that easily, I feel like. But whatever.
Well, yeah, it's always either that or like when she's tied up at the end with just like a single string of tinsel like around her neck and a tree, and I'm like, your arms are free. You could easily break this. Like,
yeah, just go.
No, you gotta wait for your fucking dumbass parents to show up as Christmas trees to save you.
Yeah, you dumb fucking plant parents.
I literally gasped because it was so ridiculous. But then something even more dumb happens, and so, yeah. So she gets strangled. They're both dead. Then the girls are like sitting there, just like talking about dickhead, and
all of their conversations are so fucking boring.
I know, and so she's basically like, they're all basically just like, yeah, you should break up with her because she fucking sucks, whatever. And then she's like, whatever, I'm gonna go find her. She leaves. So then one of the other girls puts on a cracker outfit, but like a Christmas cracker. So it's like it's like a little thing that has like stuff in it, and it looks like a package kind of, and you pull it open and it's got like little toys or candies and stuff in it. Yeah, that's what it is. She puts one of those on, and she's just like, ta-da, here's my surprise. And then she tells Faith that she needs to tell her something, but she's got to come outside and find out what the thing is. So they go outside.
No one ever goes outside. It's all bad news. If you're getting outside, it's probably a Christmas tree about to get you.
Yeah, for real. So the couple that's gone outside is like talking about Faith essentially, and then starts making out. And she's like, oh man, it's so cold. But then when they come back to her, she's like only wearing a bikini for some reason. And I was like, what the fuck?
No, wait, maybe we haven't got there yet. There's a scene where like one of the couples starts having sex outside by the pool. But it's right after they're just like, oh, it's freezing out here. And then you cut back and they're just like fucking. And I'm like, God, you're nude now. It's got to be colder. What's happening?
Gotta warm up.
Yeah, that's why they're banging. So the girl in the Christmas cracker outfit, they're basically just like talking about how their lives have been like hectic and whatnot, and like a bunch of other stuff. I don't know. So then she's like, okay, I have a secret to tell you, but in order for her to tell the secret, she's making Faith put on a blindfold and then play tennis with her. And if Faith can hit a ball blindfolded, she'll tell her a clue about what the secret is. Like, what?
Checks out.
Why?
Good plan.
So meanwhile, the couple is now like making out in their bathing suits and whatever, and the tree like uses it's like string light to like slither up and grab the girl's leg, and then she gets like yanked. The dude gets up and is like screaming and stuff, and the tree like rolls a bunch of Christmas bulbs on the ground so that the guy slips on them, but then he like just like gets knocked out, and I was like, what? You barely fell. I don't know. Then that somehow knocks him out, and so then the tree is like got them in the pool and is like bobbing them up and down in the water, like trying to drown them, I guess. And then he just like rips the guy in half, and then but the scene is weird because the tree like grabs him and then like gets bigger for some reason, and like I don't know if it was supposed to be on purpose or if they just like the CG was messed up or something. He like grows bigger.
I think it's supposed to be on purpose, but I'm also like, why would you not just be that big the whole time?
That's what I'm like. Very strange. So then,
big mystery.
The girl gets out of the water and it's like screaming and stuff. And this is like the part where she goes into like a pool shed thing, and is like screaming. And this is where he's like, I'm gonna get you. You're trapped in there. I'm gonna trap you. Then for like 10 minutes, then he just uses his little arm things to like stab through the windows and stab her. And then he's like already killed her, and he's like, I'm gonna enjoy this. And I'm like, bro, she's dead already. What are you talking about? Very weird. So,
I feel like they had that guy just like record all of his dialogue before they shot anything, so that they just had to like cram it
and
somewhere.
just like stuck it in there. I think so, honestly. They're like,
he had no idea what he was like reading for, what the scene was supposed to be.
He's like, this is a killer tree movie? Weird. So, Faith finally does hit one of the balls back, and then her friend is about to give her a clue, but mid-sentence, she stops talking. Faith takes the blindfold off, and this is where she sees that the tree has grabbed her friend and rips her in half. We don't even get to know what the fucking secret is. Like, how are they going to do it? I'm not going to lie, like
was not at all involved or intrigued by whatever the secret was. Didn't even care. Just wanted it to be over.
Well, that's why I'm just like, I don't. Anyways, Christmas tree. Okay. Then the Faith is like, oh my god, a tree is ripping my friend in half, right? So she runs. The tree chases her.
I feel like I'd have a much different reaction.
The tree. I mean. Faith runs into the party, and she's like freaking out because she automatically knows that this is Clayton, right? And she's like, oh my god, he's here, he's killing people, he's back. And Cindy is basically just like, okay, like, calm down, it's fine, everyone's fine, like, don't worry. So she's like, I think maybe the party's over, like, everybody should go. So everybody leaves the house, and as they're walking to their cars, the killer Christmas tree comes around the corner and just starts stabbing everybody and killing them. Faith and her friends are just inside watching, like, well.
She was rewinding.
Last time, what happened was that Faith ran in screaming that there was a killer tree, and nobody believed her, so everyone was leaving the party, and then they went outside and were immediately killed by a killer tree. Them's the breaks. So everyone's killed in pretty boring and not unique ways at all. Like, literally, again, he's just stabbing people with his little arms. And then they're like, okay, well, that's not great. The power goes out, and Faith says that they need to hide because, obviously this is a serial killer come back as a tree to get her. So she's like, we have to hide, and then the dickhead girlfriend comes in and is just like, okay, come on, like, I think we can jump out the window and like run through the yard and we can get away, like, let's try it. And her girlfriend is basically just like, no, like, I'm gonna stay with them. And then they like have a fight over it, whatever. So she leaves. And then the girls like argue about that girl being a dickhead, and I'm just like, this is like not really the time. Let her do whatever the fuck she wants, you know?
That's about time. Someone had to say it.
So Faith and Cindy go upstairs to hide, and the dickhead girlfriend goes outside, and the CG in this scene was so bad, I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I think he takes the star off of the topper and like throws it at her like a throwing star and chops her head off. I think. I'm not sure. So she's dead anyway. Who cares? Then he uses his string of lights to like break in and open the door or whatever. Meanwhile, Faith is hiding underneath a bed, and Cindy goes into like a wardrobe. The other friend, I don't remember what I said or we were going to call her, but she finds a gun and goes to like confront the tree. She shoots at the tree, but it doesn't work. It just like goes right through him, and then he hangs her from a rafter using Christmas lights. Again, I feel like they would just break under her weight, because it's like the smallest like dollar store size light, but whatever. So she's dead. And then the Christmas tree says, "You thought you got me," to her like 5 times for whatever reason. Then the scene is so confusing, because the tree is like going through the house trying to find the girls, and he looks at this Christmas tree that they had set up, and for a moment he thinks it is his wife Morgan also come back as a tree, and then he's mad when it's not, and he knocks it over, saying that she's an imposter.
Reaction anytime I see a Christmas tree is that it's a dead loved one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
I think that's pretty normal.
It shouldn't light up like that if it's not, you know. It was very strange. And then he plays Silent Night on the piano with his little bristle limbs.
I don't remember this at all.
So then the tree. This is where the tree, again, fake Christmas tree, is walking up the stairs with a knife, and I thought it was so funny looking. Like, why couldn't the whole movie have been like this and funny and good? That's all I wanted from this. Not a single Christmas pun to be had. Why make your movie if you're not going to have any puns?
I agree. Every movie should just be Christmas puns. Every movie.
Yeah, I agree. With John Carpenter's elected president, every movie will have puns.
Just imagine all of the Halloween remakes that are going to happen that are going to have to be Christmas movies.
I'm okay with it.
Just
I forgot that we were talking about that like before we recorded, so that it makes no sense to anybody.
That's all right. Half the shit we ever talk about these episodes, like no one knows what we're talking about probably.
I know. And then we're like, haha, this funny picture, we'll post it, don't worry. And then we never post it.
Yeah, I'm never
because it's like
shit.
A week later.
I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not a poster.
Okay. Yeah. So the tree's walking upstairs with a knife. Iconic. He goes into the bedroom where the girls are hiding and just like basically talks to her, taunts her. He's like, "This is where I killed your mother," you know, whatever. But he doesn't look for them at all. He just walks into the room and is like, "Where are you?" And then he leaves.
Yeah, he's not a very good murderer. Or he's a real lazy one at least.
No. Yeah, like, yeah. I don't think a tree is his best reincarnation, I guess. He's not trying very hard. So he leaves. And
the end.
Then Faith and Cindy come out of hiding.
He walks away.
It's like, oh, I tried to not look for him. I'm out of here. Bye.
So they come out of hiding, and like, I don't know what their plan was. They literally just like walk down the hallway, and the tree is immediately there, where he grabs Cindy with the lights and then stabs her, and she's dead.
finally.
Sorry, I just heard yelling.
You eating fruitcake Mountain Dew again?
No,
What's
I
happening?
think I think one of the dogs escaped.
Oh, great.
Um, so then, okay, so the tree immediately grabs Cindy with the lights and then stabs her, and she's dead. So Faith runs outside into the woods, and this is where the tree gives her a Bane speech about how he was raised in the dirt and born in the dirt and something or other,
It's something
talking
about like
about
he
the
says
woods.
like, "Oh, you think the woods are your ally? Like you simply adopted them. I was born in them or some shit." I was like, perfect.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just absolutely perfect
Uh,
time to start ripping off The Dark Knight Rises as something like more than a decade later.
yeah. Why not?
On a low budget,
I mean,
like Tubi only Christmas tree
Right.
film.
um, I want them to now remake the entire like Dark Knight franchise, but instead of Batman, it's the tree.
I'm in. Batman has or the Joker is the Christmas tree. Just Batman fighting a Christmas tree.
I love it.
That's what we should do. Everyone else just apparently is just stealing other people's material to make horror movies now. Let's do one with Batman and fighting a Christmas tree.
So, yeah, so he's like chasing her through the woods, you know, talking about his favorite movie, Batman.
Yeah, his favorite movie, the
Um,
worst of that trilogy.
so then the tree catches up with her and ties her around like another regular tree with tinsel. Again, I feel like you could just rip that apart,
Oh my
but
god, it looks
whatever.
so easy to get out of.
Yeah, literally. Because it's just like a string with like fucking like paper on it, you know. Anyways, she's like struggling, and he basically says that she is selfish for not dying the night that he broke into her house and killed her parents because now his wife is dead and he's a tree. Fair. And he is basically like standing there trying to decide how to kill her in a way that's like Christmas tree related. One of them included shoving candy canes up her nose, and I'm like, why didn't you do that to anybody else?
Yeah,
You barely did anything festive. So,
he has all of his good
um,
ideas when there's only one person left.
right? And she manages to like knock him over, and he falls over, which again I thought was very funny. And then, and then a glowing tree appears in the distance, and it's Faith's parents reincarnated as a tree, and they
Finally.
are the quote unquote yin to his yang. He's darkness and they are light, and they are here to protect her, even though it's just Faith's mom talking. It's very bizarre. And
Ugh.
she's basically like, come to me, I'll protect you. And it's like very blatantly just a tree sitting there, and somebody like rigged a flashlight behind it because you can like see the flashlight pretty much. And so Faith is able to slip out of the tinsel. I'm not really sure what's happening here because the trees, so Clayton, Killer Tree Clayton, and Faith's parents reincarnated as a single Christmas tree, both grow arms and legs, like tree branch arms and legs, and fight like Dragon Ball Z style, where they're like flying at each other in the air.
It should have been
Um,
like Toilet of the Dead, where they have that big fart fight up in the air. It should have been like that, where like for 5 minutes you watch these two Christmas trees battle in the air.
well, so and that's why this is confusing too, because essentially what happens is that they just collide, and then Faith's parents' tree punches through Killer Tree Clayton, and then there's like an explosion, and then one of them lands on the floor and is just like on fire, but it looks like a bonfire instead of like a tree that's been caught on fire. So I'm not really sure what's happening
Yeah,
here.
that part was wildly confusing to me because they just smash into each other and it just turns into like a bonfire.
Yeah. Like quick cut too. Like there's no scenes between. It was very strange. And then Cindy finds Faith in the woods and is like, "Where have you been? We've been looking for you." So like, it was just a dream.
No, it was like the haunting of Sharon Tate, where now they're all just ghosts. They're gonna walk by their dead bodies.
I guess I was
That's the
like,
way I took it.
Even worse than the idea that Faith's parents were reincarnated as trees also is the idea that this was actually just a dream. Because she's like in the middle of the woods, just like fucking traumatized. And Cindy's like, "Where were you? We've been looking for you." And then Faith's like, "You were dead. Everyone's dead." And she's like, "No, everyone's alive. We're fine."
Fuck you, dumb bitch!
Then,
I'm talking to you right now.
literally, and it's like daylight now. Then there's like a scene of all of the girls like walking out of the house, and they turn around and like look at take one last look at the house because she's moving to like, move on with her life. And Faith looks at the house and thanks her parents. Then it pans up on just like a regular old oak tree in the yard, and then it gets menacing red CG eyes, and then it's the end.
Hell yeah! Next year, Killing Tree Part 2.
Killer yard tree. Very confusing.
Oh, bad
I'm
movie.
very confused by it. Yeah.
Gonna
I
be
mean,
real mad if
I did.
if this is somehow the best of the three, but I feel like this is easily going to be the worst of the three we picked.
I don't know about that. Judging by the cover for Kids, I really don't see how
I
that's
expect
possible,
Kids
but
to
we'll
be
see.
a solid 6 out of 5 stars.
I have faith in Housebound.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I also watched Nutcracker Massacre.
Bitch, we're not there yet.
where... How? The movie's over.
Yeah, we gotta do news first.
I don't have any news.
I do. Kevin Conroy died. Albert Pune died. John Carpenter and Nick Cage did an interview together.
Okay.
It's all the important news in the world. I say we haven't recorded, I think, since Kevin Conroy and now Albert Pune both died.
We did talk about that on the Spider-Man episode, of course, as you do.
Yeah. That's a bummer. 2 extremely cool people now gone, and yet Nick Fuentes is still alive. Bad times. I feel like there was an actual news story I was going to talk about that I made a note of like a week ago. Like, I feel like there was some actual horror movie news. Let me see if I can find or scroll through this page that just does like headlines or whatever.
Is it that The Dentist and Dentist 2 are coming to Blu-ray?
But I did see that today and I got pretty excited. Although Vestron's prices sometimes are too much for me. Oh yeah, Nick Cage is in a Western coming out called The Old Way, where he's playing like a John Wick type character. That's probably gonna be pretty cool. I'm in.
Was it about Cocaine Bear?
No, because I feel like that's gonna be bad. Everyone's real excited.
I don't know what to expect from Elizabeth Banks as a director.
That's the thing, is everyone thinks it's gonna. I think everyone is under the assumption it's gonna be like a fun, like Tubi type movie, but it's like Elizabeth Banks directing a true story, and I feel like it's not gonna be what people are expecting it to be. I think it's gonna.
I like the poster though.
Yeah, the poster is pretty good. Apparently there's a possible Escape from New York movie in the works.
That has been for like
probably
15 years now.
A remake. If it's not Carpenter making it, I don't want it.
As long as he gets paid for it, whatever.
Blumhouse and James Wan are apparently combining companies, so that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what it was. Apparently Fede Alvarez is directing a new Alien movie. Which normally I would be probably okay with because I liked his Evil Dead, but like it's just pissing me off that they won't let Ridley Scott at least like finish out whatever his like.
Yeah, let him do his also.
That's what I mean.
You got a TV show and then this movie, like just give Ridley like $100 million. Let him
Ridley
do
Scott's
whatever.
like, what, 90 or some shit? Let him fucking
Yeah.
finish his Prometheus trilogy or whatever he was doing before he dies. And
He
then
could
do
die
whatever
any day now.
do whatever the fuck you want after that, but at least let him finish out like whatever his vision was. Give him like one more, maybe two more movies. Just let him knock them out, and then let whoever you want fuck up the Alien franchise. Jason Blum's Alien, that's gonna happen. Who gives a shit? But let Ridley Scott fucking do his thing. All right, Christmas Nutcracker Massacre, whatever the fuck that movie was called.
Nutmas Christ Massacre.
Funny you should say Nutmas Massacre.
Oh no.
So this movie was like kind of the same as Killing Tree or whatever, where it was like mainly focused on like these terrible people and like their situation, which like we need to, and then like the Nutcracker pops up to like kill people randomly. The thing I will say that makes this better is that number one, the Nutcracker is like an actual Nutcracker. It's like a human-sized Nutcracker to begin with. And so they do that thing where it's like a regular-looking Nutcracker, and then when it's like in kill mode, they just like switch the head, so it's like, and it's got like, like it's like menacing and got like sharp teeth or whatever. And it doesn't like move or emote or anything, but like whatever, it's fine. They don't CG it, which I appreciate. There was no CG in this movie. He kills every single person in a different way, and it is Christmas related. So like a guy gets his eyes stabbed. I guess spoilers for Nutcracker Massacre. I really don't think it's worth watching unless you're just throwing it on, because again, there's like maybe 10 minutes of killing in it versus like people arguing about who's terrible and whatnot. But I will say, there is an incredible scene where a man gets his nutsack cracked off by the Nutcracker with a Nutcracker.
That's all you could ask for from this film, in my opinion.
You see everything. And so I think I gave it 1.5 stars. Because
just for that scene alone.
I was shocked and I was not expecting it. So if that's like your thing, and then I also appreciated that like the story. Honestly, I should have written down the timestamp so you could just go and see it, because it was incredible looking. And it had an actual story where like it's based off of the actual Nutcracker story, but like they changed it. However, it does have that really, really weird thing, like what happened at the end of The Killing Tree, where it just like ended and you weren't really sure what happened. This movie does that too, which is why at first I thought maybe they were written by the same person, because it had the same feel. But like, I don't know. Maybe it would be worth to just like throw on in the background to see the kills, because like I said, they're seasonal, and the nutcracking. But overall, not great.
Yeah, sounds bad. What else do you watch?
Yeah. I watched
Gundam Wing.
Again?
I wish I watched Gundam Wing. Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know why Sandstorm just came up for that, because it's not related.
It's the Gundam theme.
Yeah. So I watched, obviously, Spider-Man movies for our bonus episode. Then we watched Minority Report, which obviously I've seen before, but I watched it for the first time in a really long time, and I still like it. I watched Nutcracker Massacre. Then I watched this show. It's on Discovery Plus, I think, called My Family Bought a Funeral Home or something. And it's like literally just this like really rich family bought a funeral home in this really small town and like redid it into a family home. And it is absolutely ridiculous, the things that they did to this house. Because it's like super overly decorated. And they turned like the embalming room into like a cigar lounge or something crazy. I don't know. It just was like that's like the only kind of reality show that I can watch. Then I think we talked about this. Maybe I didn't talk about it. So we got a new TV recently, and we found out that there's just like random TV channels on it that you can watch, like not live TV really, obviously, but it's like programming. And so there's like channels that will play like the same show just over and over again. So I've mostly just been watching America's Test Kitchen, 21 Jump Street, and Forged in Fire.
Weird combination.
Yeah.
That's all one channel.
Kit, what have you been watching?
Let's see. I watched, I think, the only 2004 Sci-Fi Channel original movie I hadn't seen, called Skeleton Man, starring Casper Van Dien. King. Wow. It's pretty alright. What's his name? I totally blanked on it. He was in Slither, was in Guardians. Michael Rooker. He's in it too.
Mary Poppins.
Very strange. Mary Poppins. Watched Alien from LA and Cyborg.
Alien from LA fucking rules so much.
It's so weird. It was not at all what I thought it was gonna be.
I had seen it like a couple times on like cable when I was, younger, like probably like 13 maybe, whenever probably first started hitting like TNT and fucking all that kind of shit. And like I didn't really remember a lot about it, but I remembered it. I was like, oh, I used to love this when I was a kid. And then Vinegar Syndrome put it out earlier this year, maybe end of last year. Time is an illusion. And so I bought it, and I remember I rewatched it, and I was like, this rocks. This is so bad, but I love it.
And then, other than that, I went and saw Knives Out this morning, which is really good.
Oh, the new one, or?
Yeah. I didn't realize that Netflix, being the fucking horrible company that it is, they only had it in theaters from last Friday until today.
Yeah,
that's its theatrical window. So I like scrambled yesterday. I was like, I gotta find somewhere playing it and get a ticket. I don't have fucking Netflix, so I can't watch it.
Well, I think they also, like, if they want to do like Oscar run type shit, you have to have at least like a 3-day theatrical run or something like that. Something stupid.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched the first one, and I always mean to, but I just have like never gotten around to it.
It's really good,
yeah, I've heard it's good.
I'm glad Ryan Johnson bailed on his Star Wars trilogy, and I hope he just makes more Knives Out movies instead.
And they're like a Knives Out TV series, like spin-off or something on like Peacock or some shit.
I don't know about that because Netflix paid a shitload of money for it, so I know they're at least making a third movie that's going to be straight to Netflix, but I also wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like I don't know. I'm not looking it up right now, but I felt like I saw something on like one of the fucking shitty apps I'm subscribed to, but I can't remember what it was. Literally all I've been watching has been I went through all the DC animated movies, and then some like the animated series, shit like that, since Kevin Conroy died, and then I for some reason made the decision to watch all the live action shit from the last like decade this week, and it's not good. Stop letting Zack Snyder control movies of any kind, because he's not good at it.
Agree. No.
Other than that, I watched Popstar Never Stop Never Stopping 3 times. Because it rocks. I didn't really like it. Wasn't on. It hadn't been streaming on anything for a while, and then Caitlin and I were still kind of getting over the flu on Thanksgiving, so we just like hung out at home and just we each just picked a movie. We watched Little Shop of Horrors, the Rick Moranis one.
Hell yeah!
And then we were just like scrolling through comedies. I was like, oh shit, Popstar's on here. We're watching this, and it's still perfect. All right, shout outs, Katie.
I got the new Pokemon Violet game.
Did you have to ask for help?
It's okay. Yeah. It's all right. I'm hoping the more that I play it, the better, like, I'll get into it, but it's like I think that maybe for a lot of people, this is like the first game they've played in a while because I've played both Sword and Shield and Arceus, which came out for the Switch. And I guess this is like the first, I don't know how much anybody knows about Pokemon, but they always came out as color pairs. And this is the first like color pair, I think, that's come out in a really long time. And it's like painfully obvious that it's not a finished game and they just like rushed them to get it out. So like one of the big jokes on the internet right now is like basically how glitchy and terrible it is. And overall, like, I don't know, I'm just playing it because it's a new Pokemon game. But my shout out is going to be, if you haven't gotten Scarlet or Violet yet, just get Arceus instead because it's so much better. The end.
I don't know what half of those words were, so... Kit, what about you?
My shout out is a much better and much shorter Killer Christmas Tree film called Treevenge. It's written and directed by the guy who did Hobo with a Shotgun, which I'm not a huge fan of Hobo with a Shotgun, but Treevenge rocks.
I feel like there's been like
Amazing.
numerous times I was like, I'm gonna check this out, and then just like never do. Even though isn't it like only like 20 minutes or some shit, and it's like pretty short.
Yeah, it's 16 minutes. So it's like if you want to have yourself a fun little half hour, watch that and Killer Cart back to back.
I'm in. Killer Cart sounds perfect.
Oh yeah, killer shopping carts. They're tired of people pushing them around.
What a great, that's perfect tagline.
It's incredible. Cannot recommend it enough.
I got two. The Cure finally remastered and re-released Wish, their best album, and it sounds so good on the remaster. And then it's got a shit ton of like demos, and then some like pretty good remixes on like the third disc. It's very good. And then apparently The Sound of Animals Fighting is back and has a new song called Ape Shit that's really good. So go listen to those. Go listen to them so they show up on your Spotify festival thing everyone's doing right now.
No, thank you.
Unless you're Katie, then don't. All right. Next week, Deer on Tubi.
Deer
has a very sick poster. Hoping it's good.
I believe in the Deer.
Better at least live up to the poster, but probably won't. Anytime we pick a movie where like everybody in it has only done that movie, I got high hopes for it.
I mean, that's fair.
As opposed to like fucking Killing Tree, where everybody was also in 600 other movies that look exactly the same quality as Killing Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Tubi, so watch that for next week. You can support us by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/IHopeYouSuffer podcast. I think it's got podcast in it. I don't know. You can find us. We're on Patreon.
Yeah.
On top of our regular like a monthly bonus episode, Katie and I are starting a sort of side monthly podcast about comic book movies and shit. So last week you heard like the Spider-Man Sam Raimi trilogy in the regular feed, and then we'll be doing more of that. Also, there's gonna be a episode on Gremlins sometime this month.
Oh, Gremlins one?
Yeah, I don't think
Gremlins.
I think regardless if like the other two people voted, it would have just made a tie between Gremlins and Dawn of the Dead. So I'm just saying Gremlins won.
Okay, I'm excited because it's thematic.
Only one person voted for The Omen, and it was Caitlin.
Wow. Thanks a lot, everyone else.
You can buy merch at our store Frontier. You can leave us a rating on Spotify and a rating and review on iTunes. Tell us how you would kill people if you were a sentient Christmas tree.
I got a long list, and that's why I'm really, really just disappointed in what happened in this movie.
Well, just wait till the Arbor Day sequel when it's just like the tree comes back on Arbor Day and starts killing people.
Nobody is respecting Arbor Day traditions.
So tell us how you would see if you were a Christmas tree.
That's
yeah.
You think like
Because
just two of the branches are just eyeballs?
maybe like the knots in the tree. Well, I'm confused again because, like I said, it was a fake tree. But every time they show the tree, it's like a different tree because like it gets jostled around. Like sometimes it's a tree suit and sometimes it's actually just a tree. So like the decorations on it are different, and that's why I think the bulbs are not the eyes because they get like knocked off and stuff.
Well, there's one.
Unless they're all eyes.
There's one point I think towards the beginning where it almost looks like yeah, two of the ornaments are eyes, and it almost kind of looked like there was like a bit of like a mouth, but that just like disappears almost immediately because you're like you said, you're getting like different angles of the tree at different points that are supposed to be the front. Like it doesn't make any sense. There's no truth in this art.
It's like we mostly see the back of the tree, and then if it's the front of the tree, it's the CG tree, which I just like don't understand why that was a choice that was made, but whatever.
This movie was bad.
Not my movie.
I never want to think about it again. And they're making it. They're gonna make a sequel that'll be announced sometime, like later next year. Some reason it'll come out in like July. You can follow us on Instagram at IUpSufferPodcast. Follow Kit at Hidden Kitstery and Kitrification of Blood. Follow Katie at WerewolfFace. You can join her Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfface. Listen to my other podcast, 8K Movie Club. Oh man, it's gonna be a bad month for movies for us, I think.
The worst.
Yeah.
No Christmas Twister this year to save us. I couldn't find like another. I was trying to see if I could find like another Christmas like sort of sci-fi disaster movie, but
yeah.
As soon as I saw Were-Deer, I was like, I gotta pick this. God bless TV.
I'm pulling for it. Yeah, I'm pulling for it.
All right. Watch Were-Deer for next week. Or don't. It's probably bad. But we'll say watch it anyway. Watch it, tell us if it's bad, and then we'll change it last minute to, I don't know, Die Hard. Which
okay.
I also don't want to watch. Alright. I hope you suffer, but Christmas tree. Gotta wait for me.